Homework for Tuesday. I want you to pay attention where it says show your work to prove your answers. It's always a good strategy to do. Number 1, computation. Solve. 164 divided by 8. So we're going to solve this whichever strategy you know best. I'm going to show you both strategies. So you can either do partial quotients or traditional. If you're doing partial quotients, I made myself a little cheat sheet since I can't take them home. So make sure you make yourself a little cheat sheet and fill it out. Traditional, people like that better sometimes because they think it's faster. Partial quotients, people understand the number sense behind it. Either strategy is fine. Do what works best for you. I'm going to start with solving partial quotients. So we start with our divisor filling in our cheat sheet. So we're going to fill in 8. For all of these blanks. And you'll notice there's a pattern with them. So 1 times 8 is 8, 2 times 8 is 16, 5 times 8 is 40, and then our pattern, this is where it repeats. 10 times 8 is 80. So notice it's the same thing here with a 0 added. 20 times 8, it's the same thing here, 16 with a 0 added. 50 times 8, it's the same thing here with another 0 added. 100 times 8, same thing here with another 0 added, 800. So we ask ourselves, how many times can 8 go into 164? If we use this over here, we see, it can go in 20 times. So 20 groups of 8 equals 160. So then we subtract. 4 minus 0, 6 minus 6, 1 minus 1. Can 8 go into 4? No, it cannot. This means we can't make 8 groups with only 4 blocks. If I have 4 blocks, I can't pass that out to 8 people without getting a fraction. So this is my whole number, and this is what's left over. So that is my remainder. So let's show that using traditional method. It's the same exact thing, except we're thinking of the place value. So we cover up our ones place and we ask ourselves, how many times can 8 go into 16? 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. Bring down our 4. Can 8 go into 4? Nope. We brought this down, so we put a 0 there, and we have our remainder of 4. This method works, but the reason I like partial quotients a little bit better is because this technically isn't 16. It's technically 160. And we lose focus of that sometimes. We also put a 2 up here thinking it's just a normal 2, but it's actually in the tens place. So, both strategies give us the same answer of 20, remainder of 4. Best answer over here is C. Make sure you've shown your work. I've shown you both ways to solve it, so I want to see those on your paper. Next question. Tammy made 18 bracelets to share equally among her 6 friends. How can she find out how many to give to each friend? So think about this. She's got 18 bracelets. She's got to pass them out to 6 friends. How is she going to solve that? A, subtract 6 from the number of bracelets. B, multiply the number of bracelets by 6. C, divide the number of bracelets by 6. So what do you guys think is the best way to solve this? She's got a total amount and having to put them in equal groups. That is division. So the next part of the question says, how many bracelets will each friend get? So we've got to solve that. 18 divided by 6. This should be a quick fact. If not, yesterday I taught you the dot line method. You can use that again if you don't know your facts. So 6, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And that's 3 times we counted that. So 6 times 3. So how many bracelets will each friend get? Each friend will get 3 bracelets. Which expression could not be used to find the product of 20 times 4? That not in there means we're finding which ones are not equal. So there are going to be some that equal the same product, but we're looking for the ones that are not equal. So first we got to solve 20 times 4. Cover up the 0. 2 times 4 is 8, with the 0 behind it, 80. So we're looking for which ones are not equal to 80. So when you have these three numbers, you're going to group the ones that are easier for your brain to solve. So A, 4 times 5 times 4. Well, either one of these groupings will work. So 5 times 4 is 20 times 4. So let's solve that out. 4 times 2 is 8. With a 0 behind it, that's 80. Those are equal, but we're looking for which ones are not equal. So I'm going to eliminate it. Next question. Group these numbers. 2 times 2 is 4 times 20. 20 times 4 equals 80. That's equal, but we're looking for which ones are not equal. Let's group these down here. Either way you group these numbers, they'll be easy for your brain. Let's keep going with 5 times 4 is 20 times 5. Let's solve that out. 5 times 2 is 10 with a 0 behind it. That's 100. That is not equal to 80. So that's our answer. Next question. You want to make a number with a value of 3020. What place value blocks could you use? There's more than one answer. Show all values to prove. So we're going to write what each of these equals. Okay? So these are sometimes called funny numbers or just giving us the place value of a number, and we're going to solve those out. So A says 30 hundreds plus 2 tens. So this is saying if you had 30 $100 bills in your pocket, how much would you have? That would be 3,000. Here's another way I think of this. How many zeros does hundreds have? If you write 100, how many zeros do you have? You have 2. So whenever I see this 30 hundreds, I just put 2 zeros on the end of it, and that's how I get my value. That might be a good way to think of it. 2 tens. If you have 2 tens in your pocket, you have $20. Here's another way I use this. Think of the number 10. How many zeros does it have? 1. That's how many I put behind that number to get it. So 3,000 plus 20 equals 3,020. That's a value that we're looking for. So A is a possible answer. But we know there's more than one, so we got to keep looking. B, 3 hundreds plus 20 tens. Now think of that little trick I just gave you. You can put 2 zeros on the end of your hundreds. 3 hundreds equals 300. 20 tens, put 1 0 on the end of that. That equals 200. 300 plus 200 equals 500. That is not equal to 3,020. So we'll write 500 here and X that out. C, 3,000s plus 200s. Now think, how many zeros does 1,000 have? 1, 2, 3. You'll put that behind your 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's 3,000. 200s. How many zeros does 100 have? 2. So 3,000 plus 200 is 3,200. Not what we're looking for, so we can eliminate it. Let's look at our last one. 3,000s plus 21s. Remember the trick. How many zeros am I going to put for thousands? 3. 1, 2, 3. That equals 3,000. $21 bills. That's 20. 3,000 plus 20. 3,020. So D is another possible answer. Social studies questions. Number 1. Many peanut farmers living in Virginia are in the blank region. So this region is very flat and has the ocean and Chesapeake Bay beside it. That region is coastal plain. Number 2, which is not a major industry or product in the Piedmont region? So we're thinking rolling hills. A, horses. B, state government. C, poultry. So poultry means like birds and farming like that. So horses like the rolling hills, so they are in the Piedmont. We're looking for which ones are not in the Piedmont. State government, well, Richmond and Washington, D.C. are in the Piedmont. So we're going to eliminate that because we're looking for which ones are not in the Piedmont. Poultry, that is in our Valley and Ridge region. So that's not in the Piedmont. Number 3, the flat, sandy beaches in this region attract many tourists. Which one of those regions is a flat land that has lots of water near the Chesapeake Bay and Atlantic Ocean? Coastal plain, you got it. Number 4, coal is the major product in this region. A, Blue Ridge. B, Appalachian Plateau. C, Valley and Ridge. This is the one that has elevated land that's flat on top. That's a plateau. Number 4, which region do we live in? A, Piedmont. B, coastal plain / tidewater. C, Blue Ridge. Well, we're not in the region that's flat with lots of water. We're in the land at the foot of the mountains. One of the biggest regions in Virginia. Piedmont.